But today the church is saying to us, rejoice. Rejoice, because you, by virtue of baptism, and later on by confirmation, that's why, dear children, we are very tough in these sacraments, because these sacraments are the foundations of your life. At baptism, your parents gave you their faith. At confirmation, you speak for your faith and say, yes, I want to continue to confirm the faith of my parents. Exactly what confirmation means. And then, by virtue of baptism and confirmation, we are called to be in the company of Jesus. We become part of the family of God. We become brothers and sisters with Jesus. And now He is asking you and me that now that we are Christians, we need to go out and make Him known. By sitting in the pew, I say it again, you are wasting your time coming to church. Did you get that? That's why we are a dead body as a church. Because everyone say, well, after all, they are my friends. Oh, after all, they are my family. When it comes to side yourself with Christ, there is no family. There is no friends. Unless you love me more than you love your mother, more than you love your wife, then you're your friends, you are not part of my discipleship. You know those words of Christ? It's not my words. When it comes to Christ, we cannot play the game. When it comes to Christ, either we are with Christ or we are not with Christ. And that's why today I bring to you a great joy. Because you who are with Christ, and that's why you are here, because you make that choice, that you want to hear His message, that you want to change your lives, that you want to be intimate with Him, you have a vocation now to go and make Him known. I repeat the words of Jesus as we read in chapter 16 of Mark. Go in the whole world. Proclaim the good news. Who accept the good news, baptize them. Make them in possession of the Father, Son, and Spirit. But those who refuse you, they are condemned. These are my words. I am here to be the channel of the word. I am not condemning you. As Jesus said, I am not here to condemn the world. But that message will condemn you. Because you are a hearer of the good news and you refuse to believe in the good news. That's why we are full of joy, because the greatest experience we have is to know Jesus Christ. And to know Jesus Christ is the greatest gift that the Father has given us. There is no greater love than this. And the Father gives you the greatest gift, His Son. And that's why the joy comes, not only that you know Jesus, but you to give Jesus to others. And how are you going to give Jesus to others? Many of you, in fact all of you, have members of your own families. They don't want to be bothered with God. You don't want to bother with church. And so you have a job. Invite them for lunch. Tell them that you are going to meet them for breakfast. Invite them at your house for dinner. And in the course of your eating, you threw the snare. Have you been in church? How is your relation with God? Don't start on religion. He said, I don't want to start on religion. Yes, I will continue this subject. Because I want you in heaven with me. Because if you continue your way, you are going to hell. How many of you want your children, your father, your mother in heaven? No. But if you really want it, you work for it. Nothing comes free. They advertise you are going to have 50% of this and that, but they want you in the shop. When you are there, they caught you. That's why we need to be ambassadors. That's why we need to be the good sellers, as we call it, salesperson for Jesus. We need to bring others to Him. And you are the channel or the vehicle by which God is going to use you, that that person who is part of your family or friend will come back to the Lord. And what a great joy it is to bring the Lord to your family. St. Paul said, it's better to give than to receive, especially the gift of the faith. And then you are going to open the eyes of the blind, because some of your people are blind to see with the eyes of Jesus. Because they are so in darkness of drugs, alcohol, and life of permissivity that they cannot see the truth. And that's why they don't come to church, because the word of Christ is really asked them and moved them to change. And they don't want to change their lifestyle. That's why they don't want to go to church. Don't give me that line, I don't like that preach, because you know, if I don't like my doctor, I go to other doctor because I need a doctor. So don't give me that line. Or I don't like that church because it looks like a theater. There is a lot of cathedral in Camden you can go to. And then you cross the bridge, it don't cost you nothing but $4. It is all excuse, dear people. The fundamental cause is because there is a lifestyle that is not pleasing to God, and they don't want to hear about it. Because that lifestyle is so rotten, that lifestyle is so bad. Although they know it's bad, they are comfortable with it. That's why they don't want to go to church. Because the Word of God really bothers them. And that's why when they say, well, Father, you talk too long. Of course I talk too long. Because my word is here. Look. It's putting the sword, like St. Paul said. The Word of God is like a sword. And it's going to go from both edges and going to make a mark. They don't want that. Some of them are so out there. They are so lost. Because their parents, together with you, I take the responsibility. We have spoiled them. And we have allowed them to do what they want. And today they are not people of a moral life. My dear people, this is the joy that we have. That we have Jesus Christ. Are you happy that you are Christians? So then pass the word to others. Bring others to know the joy of Jesus Christ. Make sure that your joy is not just contained to yourself, but give it. Your joy when you graduate from college is not something that you keep it to yourself, but invite the entire friends and family to celebrate at a party. Do we celebrate our faith? Do we celebrate our Jesus? And that is why Jesus is saying to us on this Sunday, Gaudete Sunday, I am with you in the real presence, in a very special way, body, soul, and divinity. I am with you in the Word. I am with you in you as a community, because where two or three are gathered in my name, I am in their midst. God comes to us in many forms. And now we come to the gospel and I conclude. Jesus, after the disciples of John left, he said, what do you want to see in the desert? A reed bouncing in the wind? How many of us are a bunch of reeds bouncing in the wind? We are afraid to stand for Jesus. We are afraid to stand for what is true. How many of us can Jesus say, He is the only one, greatest, that are born of woman. There is no one greater than Him. But then He said, but the least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than Him. What does that mean? That means those who are saved now, those who are now received the salvation from Christ through His passion and death, and those who accept that invitation of salvation to make it their personal conversion and come to follow Jesus, and follow them to the end till they close their eyes, because still you are on the face of the earth. earth, you still have the opportunity to change your ways. The saints in heaven are greater than John because they have made it. And faithfully to the end, they have served Jesus Christ. I call upon you today, as we are very close to the end of the season. Many of your friends are going to come and family members at Christmas. It's like they are making a favor for Jesus. Invite them to go to confession. Don't bring them here in the parish because the priest maybe know them. Bring them to a parish because we are going to have two different people here in confession. They don't know your people. Bring them to Jesus. And you will see what that joy that today we proclaim will be your joy. That joy that the world cannot give. That joy that the world cannot take. That joy that remains forever. Because you have won a soul for Christ. This was the action of the church from its foundation. And this has to be the foundation of our church, to continue to call others to faith. And you can do that job because you love your loved ones. He said, Father, I have been telling my son for 7 years and he didn't want to listen. Do you make sacrifice and penance for him? Do you remember him in prayers and throw him to the Lord at communion? Because there are some cases we cannot achieve them, we cannot do them. But the boss can. Because the boss can twist the life so fast. You don't want to believe it. Look at the life of St. Paul, how it was twisted on the road to Damascus. Give him to the Lord and trust him to his divine power. And you will see what a change you can do. In the meantime, you pray, you continue to be the instigator, a little card, a little prayer card, at the end of the letter, at the end of the phone call, and you will see what difference you make. But we cannot remain, as we say, still. God will help us if we help ourselves. Remember, as St. Teresa said, Father, Christ is not in this world, but He is in your feet, in your hands, in your lips, in all your body. And so He became real through you and me. We need to open the tombs of those who are dead. We need to heal those who are full of leprosy, of sin. We need to ask people, the Lord is coming. Let us prepare for Him. And the words of John, I use it for you. Fill the valleys of your lives. Put down the mountains that you have. And let the Lord come. So when He comes, you find your heart ready to welcome Him. And He will welcome you in return to the eternal happiness. God bless you.